and welcome back to episode 53 of the Hit the Showers podcast, presented to you by the Foolproof Entertainment Network. As always, I am your host, Clifford Jordan Jennings, back here with my co-host and point man,
sir,
Malcolm Wasn't Missed King.
I just want to go ahead and take a moment real quick to apologize to all the men and women out there. The king was on vacation. I am back. I heard the criticism from Aaron, from Brittany, from Cliff last week's episode. I did tune in, but I'm back and I'm ready to defend myself. What's going on, fellas?
Shit, another one, a new one. And then we got my nigga, the dot connector, in the building. Aaron Spencer.
Look at it. That's a Shaq move. That's some Shaq shit. That's
Behold.
some Shaq shit.
Either Shaq or Ricky Bobby.
I'm not sure what to do with my hands right now. What's up I'm supposed to be doing?
He said, just put him down, Ricky. But we are here to talk basketball this evening. And why not start it out with a little more comedy? Team USA. 0-1 in Tokyo with their first loss to France. What was it? I think it was 83-76, if I remember correctly. I didn't write it down.
I think they beat Israel last night.
You said what?
I think they beat Israel last night.
Did they beat Israel last night?
You better
They
beat
better
Israel.
have beat Israel now.
You have to go to war at that point.
I know, right?
The Americans are weak.
Listen.
Nigga,
Okay, I'm glad they recovered. Yeah, I think it was 73-86. Or no, 83-76, if I'm remembering correctly. But the only thing that I felt about that game is Drew Holiday had the high with 18 points, right? Now listen. Damian Lillard had 11, shooting 3 for 10. Booker had 4, shooting 1 for 6. And KD had 10, shooting 4 for 12.
niggas done gave up, man. At this point, I think they satisfied with the fact that they probably not gonna get gold. I mean, this is the first game of the actual shit, and y'all lost that. We can excuse the exhibition, but right now you full strength supposedly.
So you think that was actually about to be my next question. Well, before I led there to that, I just wanted to point out that they big three, Lillard, Booker, and Durant, all together did not add up to Evan Fournier's 28, shooting 11 for 22. And he hit the game winner. Not the game winner, but the pull away
sealed the
three.
game.
Right. I don't get it. I don't get it. At this point, I'm honestly wondering if they medal at all.
If they don't, I'm gonna put that Israeli shit to everybody. Like, if America loses in basketball, we don't even medal. Something's wrong over here right now, man.
You mean as a whole? Like
as a whole, the whole country's fucked up. I'm saying though, you do it because people know Kevin Durant is second best player, first, however you want to look at it, one of the best players to play. Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum. They should be washing niggas, but you lost to Evan Fournier and Rudy Gobert and who else on that goddamn team?
That's really it. I think Evan Fournier, Rudy Gobert.
That's somebody else. I feel like
big names.
There's someone else in
there. Ain't no Campazzo, is it?
It's somebody.
Campazzo's on Spain.
Oh, okay.
I forget who it is, but there's a third person on that team, and I'm sorry for forgetting.
Nicholas Batum.
Oh no, Campazzo's on Australia.
You said Nicholas Batum. If you don't come out of here with that bullshit,
I said Batum.
That's who it was.
Batum. I forgot it's pronounced Batum.
That's exactly who it was.
Batum and everything. Does he play for the Clippers?
This nigga said Batum.
Batum. Batum.
That was like some old school shit. I'm looking for Nicholas Batum.
And Frank I can't say his last name.
Nicolatina.
Y'all got it. Y'all got
Nili
it.
Kiki.
Yeah, that dude.
Frank Ntilikina. Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. Listen, he been on the bench for so long. I don't know if he still got it, but
He got energy.
that's not. Yeah, he always has energy. It's just not. It's not a good enough team to beat USA. And like I said from the jump, I don't think this is a good team for the simple fact that I feel like everybody on the team's an ISO player for real. Everybody on the team is an ISO player. If everybody's an ISO player, then when are we ever gonna play team ball?
I heard they don't like. Heard they ain't fucking with Popovich either.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that makes sense, right? Because Popovich preaches team ball.
Damn.
And if you don't have nobody on the team on some team ball shit, then of course you wouldn't like the way Popovich is coaching. So I'm questioning if we place it all. Honestly, I'm thinking I feel like we're fighting for second or third at the moment. I don't even know who to. You know what I mean? Because we already lost in the exhibitions.
Right.
I mean, you got Australia, Spain.
I said I think Australia is the hot hand this year right now.
France obviously came out there and showed they're worthy. You know,
but hold on, don't sleep on Luka's team. Y'all hear about what Luka's doing?
Yeah, hey, Luka's doing that by himself, and he's right. If he does, was it Slovenia?
Yeah, that's the first time. That's
if they fuck around and get gold, man, they gonna be man.
Don't sleep on him.
I feel like he got big nuts.
Well, I mean, he's feeling himself. He's on a premier cover of 2K22. He's a young hot player in the league. Country's first year being in the Olympics. Yeah, you gotta watch out for Slovenia because Luka's been doing his thing. He's been balling.
I mean, didn't what's the name? Isn't Antetokounmpo playing for Greece?
Is he?
I believe so.
Let me see.
He might be playing with his brothers too.
Right.
That's what I was going to want. Let me see the Greece men's basketball team lineup.
I'm saying it's a toss up. It's not just no easy road to go like it was. Before.
Giannis is supposed to be on there. Giannis, his brother Thanis, the one that plays with them, the Thanis or however you say it.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. I don't know.
That's his older brother played with him, and his younger brother played for Kustov.
The Lakers.
Costas.
Yeah, he plays for the Lakers. Yeah, plays for the Lakers.
Is he on there too?
Yeah.
I would imagine.
No,
he's not.
Nope. Now I'm looking at the roster. No, they don't got him on there. Let me double check.
My G ain't make the team, man.
Right.
That's some LeBron shit.
Giannis, his other brother. Yeah, I'm looking through the roster. Nope, it is no Costas. I don't know.
He got 5 brothers. He got 4 brothers.
Yeah, there's a couple. There's like at least 4 or 5 of them.
There's 5 total. Damn. One is like you can tell he's the oldest because he's probably about 6'1", 6'2".
Right, he's like the short one, ain't he?
Yeah, he the first one.
Yeah.
Then you got all. I think Giannis is the middle one. One of them is older than him. I think the other 2 is younger than him. I think one is still in college.
Right, there is one
like Dayton or something like that.
Yeah, there's one coming up. I'm about to look him up.
Yeah, one is in college or coming out of college. I think he played for Dayton.
You got who? So actually, there's 4 of them, Aaron. There's
Giannis's brother. There's 5. There's 5 total. This is
right.
Oh, Google's. I don't know why Google's only listing 4. They're listing Alex, Francis, Costas, and Thanis. Oh, my bad. You're right. Yeah. Giannis is at the top to where they didn't have him in the category.
Yeah, Giannis and his 4 brothers.
Right, that's how they got it.
That's what the band name sound like. Giannis and the 4 brothers.
Yeah. You damn right. You right. Yeah, there's 5 of them. Damn.
Yeah, didn't we talk about? I thought we talked about that a while ago.
Perhaps.
I'm sure I know we touched on it. Alex is a Greek professional basketball player. He seems to be the youngest. He's 19.
Oh, okay. So he must have came out of college and went overseas. I know he had one that was like fresh in college or coming out of college.
Yes, but yeah, it's only out of the 5. It's only 2 of them on the Greece basketball team.
Well, shit. I'm just saying it's not gonna be an easy run for USA regardless. And then playing the way you playing, letting Evan Fournier show up your whole team. That's tough. Like I feel like if they're lucky, they get silver.
Right.
But I don't see him getting gold.
Coach K would never let this happen.
What was the score to Israel game, Mike? Malk, could you look it up for me if you?
Yeah, it was a blowout.
I would imagine.
It was.
Ain't nobody from Israel in the league, bro. I don't know if there is. I don't know.
One. No, actually, they beat Iran.
Oh, Iran. Okay, it was 1 or 2.
120-66.
Okay.
That was a bully beatdown.
Right.
I mean,
want to see a stat.
Who they got on the NBA on their team? Nobody. All right, so this is the team we're gonna go up by 60.
You know what? You're right.
They should have been doing that the whole time, but man, look, that was a bully game. You won 100 and something, 120 to like, what did you say, 120 to 66?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first win.
I just feel
That's
like
the first win.
Yeah, no, that's the first win in Tokyo, yeah. I just feel like, of course, first and foremost, Iran's not going to be a good barometer as to how far they could go. Secondly, I question, not really question as in doubt, but I'm questioning, is that enough to boost their confidence going into the, rest of the season?
Especially, I think you need something. You need something, my nigga. You need
better
something.
Not. Yeah.
That's a gimme, though.
Sometimes you lose a fight at school, and you go home and you beat up your little brother. You need a win today. I need a win tomorrow.
You are stupid as hell for that. Listen, is that what they did with Iran?
That's what it looks like.
Listen, let the USA find out Iran little brother. That's Iraq.
As Cliff would say, that was a tune-up game or a tune-up fight when we talk about boxing.
No, definitely. That was definitely a tune-up fight. Now that's Iraq. That's USA's little brother.
Yeah, that was blowout.
I don't know. Do you know who they got next? Do they? Does it say on that? What you looking at the score on?
Let's see.
Cause I'm gonna keep track. I'm gonna keep my eye on them, and we gonna see how that goes. But yeah, I'm thinking on some lucky. I won't even say lucky, but playing good ball for the rest of the season. They'll probably snatch that silver.
They don't even tell me who they would have next. I'm just looking here. No, I lied. It says
who's that?
USA versus Czech Republic this Saturday.
That's probably another one they can get off.
Hey, they getting these practice games in, these scrimmages and shit. Get these scrimmages in. I don't know nobody from the Czech Republic that's out there balling.
Nah, I don't either. And France, I mean, would have been a top, I would say, 5 team.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, just coming out the gate. I mean, that's the thing, though. Like, you gotta be able to come out the gates when you USA. I was listening to the Flagrant 2 podcast today. Shout out Andrew Schultz and them. And they was saying, I can't remember who said it on the podcast, but they was basically saying that they feel like if the USA doesn't get gold, they don't have a right to call themselves champions of the world.
That's the whole point of calling somebody. Oh, you talking about the NBA?
Right. Like the NBA can no longer call themselves.
Well, that's kind of harsh things how there's so many foreign people that do play and impact the NBA.
Well, that's right, but at the same time,
the winner in MVP of the last championship of the world is from Greece. I mean, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's a Greek.
They might have to. I doubt they would never change it from national, but I'm saying like, because they have to.
With the world champion, that's what it is, though. The world champion.
Right, but I mean that's what I'm saying. When you can recruit players just because you got the strongest league, but if you get beat in the Olympics, are you really the world champion?
Well, if you want to look at like soccer, it's the same thing. You look at the best leagues. I don't know what the best soccer league is. Let me say that. It's like it's either the Euro League, La Liga, or some other shit, right? It's your guess is as good as mine. But it's not like they're picking people from their countries. They're going around the world and be like, hey, you from Africa or Nigeria, you from America, you from Canada, all this, let's make a team and make it work. It's a bunch of different cultures on one team.
But isn't that different from the World Cup?
It is different from the World Cup. Yeah. But when they do the World Cup, so Brazil, right? Remember Brazil was like supposed to be the best team.
Right.
Then they got whooped.
Right.
By France. It was France or Italy, one or two, but they got like embarrassed by France. You know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say is that Brazil has some good players. It doesn't mean they have the best players in the world, right?
Right.
So when it comes to the Euro League, which is I think is the league where like Messi's making $600 and some million, it's got to be the biggest one. There's a different. He's from Argentina. He's not from Europe. He's from Argentina. You know what I'm trying to say? He's from South America. Right. He's playing the Euro League and he's getting paid $600 million. They pick the best players around the world. The NBA does that now, right? So you can only say that the players that are on the NBA teams are the best players in the world.
Right, because you have the best league.
Yes.
But does that make you world champion?
Yeah. If you have the best players in the world playing in your league. But if you take the best players from that league who just so happen to be from the United States, which is the location of the NBA.
Right.
You know, we had the Dream Team. The Dream Team was that league that was supposed to be all Americans, except for Hakeem Olajuwon. All Americans that came out and just, you know, tear up the whole world. But now you have everybody from the whole world playing in that same league being just as good. So you have a Giannis who's in Greece. You have a Luka who's in.
Listen, I don't know, man. I mean, I agree. I do agree. I definitely agree that the best competition is in the United States. But I have always thought that was arrogant to say as opposed to NBA champions. Because honestly, if NBA is the best league, then by saying I'm an NBA champion, then you can connect the dots to world champion. But to say world champion, but you don't win on the world stage is kind of... Regardless of who plays in the league. You know what I mean? Regardless of who's sitting out. Because like everybody, like you just said, Kevin Durant's considered 1-2 top players in the league.
In the world.
What I mean, right. In the world. Then, like you said, Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum, Devin Booker, Drew Holiday. No,
those are all American players, American-born players that play in the league that was founded in America.
But however, go ahead, Aaron.
However, the league has grown by expanding itself worldwide. So you have teams outside of America. You only have like maybe one team now. I think it's just Toronto, right? But I think they're thinking about getting a team in Mexico, which, you know, whatever, if that happens, cool. But what I'm trying to say is that this is a league where if you feel like you're the best in the world, whatever country you're in, you got to come to the NBA and prove that. Do we all agree on that?
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. But I mean that's not a good argument when you look at somebody like Luka Doncic that played in the Euro League for 15 since he was 15 years old and comes to the league and does the same shit. You know what I mean? That could be, but also to the world's eye, it makes people think like, well, maybe there's other people in the Euro League that could do that as well, that they're passing on.
Well, my answer to that would be, what if we had our 16 and 15-year-old studs in America playing professional basketball from 15, 16, where they had the same progression as Luka Doncic? Because Luka Doncic had the opportunity to play professional basketball at a very young age. We don't do that here.
I don't
So
think
if you're 14, 15 years old and you're at the peak or whatever,
I understand what you're saying.
You get to play with grown men. Like Luka Doncic wouldn't have been that good if he started playing professional basketball when he was 18, 19.
I don't think Luka Doncic would have been. What's going on, Mama Malk? I don't think Luka Doncic would have been that good if he came up playing American basketball.
Probably not.
I think what makes Luka Doncic great is the fact that we haven't seen that style of play in the NBA, really. He's taken all the best attributes of Euroball and brought it to the NBA to show motherfuckers you don't got to be the fastest if you're good on your technique. And I shit y'all on technique. So what I'm saying is if he learned that from the Euro League, then how many other players are technically more sound than our American players? And this is all from the world's view. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I'm not saying necessarily people in the United States feel this way. I'm sure there are a couple people that are slipping by, you know, aren't marketing correctly, don't have the best agent, and they're not getting the right playing time at the right position that could play in the NBA, but it's just not panning out for them. I'm sure there's a few of them like that, but I'm sure there's only one Doncic, but I don't think he would have been the same caliber of player coming up playing American-style basketball because you're not as athletic.
Here's what I'm saying, and the athleticism thing is good to bring up. So when you're 14 and 15 and you're in a league full of grown men who are fully developed, what do you rely on? Your fundamentals. That's where you learn, you build off of that. So even if you don't become somebody like that, by the time you're 18, 19, you've played 4 years of sharpening your fundamentals. So if you take a who's number one, Cade Cunningham or Jalen Green or whatever, and you put them in an NBA situation at 14, 15 years old, you don't think their skills sharpen faster?
No. They would sharpen faster, yes, because they would have all day to figure out that game as opposed to going to school and doing all that at the same time. I do agree there, but my whole thing is, the reason why I say no is because our American style of basketball is modeled off of athleticism. Period. That's how we model our game currently, off of athleticism. That's why you see less about Gabe Cup and more about Mikey Williams. You know what I mean? So what I'm getting at is when you put somebody who's 14, 15 in a situation where you're playing with athletes, then what I feel like what that does is that pushes you to be more athletic, which could lead to injury at an earlier age.
I got one argument with that. My one argument is when you look at the league and who's coming up, it's the smaller guys who may not know. Dame Lillard is athletic, okay? He's athletic, but he's learned that he's really small. So he has to shoot well. Right. Steph Curry the same way. Trae Young the same way. They all have a model game like Luka. But Luka had a chance to, he's a little bit bigger too. He had a chance at a younger age to fundamentally build that.
To figure out what works and what doesn't.
Whereas if you're Trae Young, you get to the league and you're still 6 foot, 6'1", you have to figure out, okay, I have to develop. If you put Trae Young in the league when he's 15, he's like Isaiah Thomas out there figuring shit out. He's probably doing it at 5'9". And when he gets to 18, 19 years old.
Nah, and that's another reason why because like you said, at 14, 15, when we're basing American ball off of athleticism, that man's not going to see PT.
That's and all right, so Europe, right? So you're going with Europe on
Europe
this.
Doesn't have a G
so
League.
Europe doesn't have it. Europe has an opportunity for somebody to make a team, whether you're athletic or not. You let the coach decide, and then you get to play with that team at a young age.
And all I'm saying is people were questioning whether LeBron would be able to do that as an 18-year-old. And we're talking about one in millions. we in this style of basketball, I cannot see, regardless of talent, a 15-year-old child step out on that court and get PT. It's just not going to happen. I don't care how good you are, you're still immature.
That's the problem.
You're still underdeveloped.
Because you're thinking from the athletic standpoint, whereas overseas they're thinking of, let's grow this young man.
That's what I'm saying. Let's put his
foot in the fire. So if America did the same thing, you would get the same result, is all I'm trying to say. If we took these kids and did the same thing you did with Luka, we had him playing against 25, 30-year-old men in a professional league where he has to make money, be responsible about going to practice and all those things.
You know what? You know why I don't really agree with that? Again, well, another reason why I don't, because I made it very clear I don't agree, but another reason is that, they got those camps in China where all the motherfuckers do is play basketball or play this or play ping pong or whatever, and that's what they're devoted to. And you don't see Chinese motherfuckers coming in. We can't play that. They're not tall enough.
You can't put China in this. You can't put China in this. China is a communist place where you better come or we're going to kidnap you. It's not a choice.
Wait, what you mean? Better come like what?
In China, it's not a choice. It's not a choice, right?
Right.
It's a communist place. You said they have camps where this is the only thing you do. It's not a choice, right? It's not a choice.
But what that?
When
of
we talk
course.
about, all right. So what I'm trying to say, as far as China's concerned, when you talk about something like that, these people are going to do that, and they might not necessarily want to do it. But the implications of them not doing it is heavy, right? Whereas in America, you could quit. If you play when you're 14, 15, you go to the NBA and you quit, you can quit.
Well, two arguments to that. One, I definitely understand what you're saying. I definitely understand the point you're making. But what I'll also say is we know that the next biggest fan of the NBA is China. Mm-hmm. That's where the next most views come from in the NBA.
That's because of population, man.
Well, what I'm saying, regardless, is it's still a popular sport there. So out of those kids that do get forced into that camp, we can't say that there's not 40% of them that actually want to be there. Out of that 40%, we can't say that there's not 20% of them that aren't athletically built to be able to. So my next question is, why don't you see more Jeremy Lins? Where are the Yao Mings? Where are all those people if devoting all your time to basketball is that key to success?
I don't see that. I don't see the percentage that you come up with.
I'm just throwing them out, of course, but I feel like those are safe.
So what I'm trying to say is, so when you think about Chinese basketball, I think of a Stephon Marbury that goes over there and becomes a legend. He becomes a hero.
Right.
He changes the game over there, has movies and shit written about him. Right? China's not all that concerned with basketball like you think they are. Just because they have so many people there and there's a lot of people in camps,
I'm sure it's
it doesn't mean they're concerned about basketball like that.
I'm sure it's fair.
So what I'm trying to say is that there might be more but Jeremy Lin is like, he really wanted it. There's a lot of people in China where if they really wanted it, they can get it. The population is there. There's 5 more times people in China, in America. There's 5 more times.
Right. So I guess what I'm getting at is you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right there. I will say correct. What I guess I'm getting at is the opportunities there as well. You know what I mean? If you're a young boy and you want to be a basketball player in China and you're of a certain build, they'll take you into that camp. If you have talent, they'll take you in. So my thing is, what are they doing? Are they chewing them up and spitting them out? Are they grinding them up?
It's like Rocky IV. Where with Drago, whatever. What's the dude's name from Rocky IV? The Russian guy.
Yeah, that was Drago.
Right. Uh-huh. So they do everything they think will make them a great player, which will make them a greater player if they send them to a better league like the NBA at a young age and let them learn the high-paced athletic game, as you say.
But once again, you don't get in. Even if they send them over at 15, they don't get in until they're 21?
That's the beauty of the G League and why they're letting kids play out of college in the G League. That's the beauty of it. You're
but
getting
other
these
places
kids,
don't have that.
think about it, though, you're getting these kids. America's just now realizing if we get these kids, look, some of the best players who ever played in the game came straight out of high school.
Right.
That's real.
Agreed.
Right. So imagine if those players that came straight out of high school. Imagine if Kobe had 2 more years when he was 15 and 16 in the NBA. He would be that much better. That's me. LeBron James, if LeBron James, Kevin Garnett, Mark Stoudemire.
I feel like that's a big statement.
Think about Gerald Green. Gerald Green was raw athleticism. If they could teach that at 14, 15 years old, he'd have been a great NBA player. But all he had was athleticism. And the college and high school let him get along. Well, not college. He came straight out of high school. They let him get away with that because he was so much more athletic than everybody. What if you're in the league where everybody's just as athletic as you? You have to learn different parts of the game. You have to learn your dribble. You have to learn your jump shot early.
That I agree with. That's
what I'm trying to say. Like, America's just getting to that point where they're like, look, these foreign niggas got us because they keep putting these kids in at an earlier age in more difficult situations.
With that being said, Malk Money, I need you to look up China's record in Tokyo so far.
Okay, let me see.
Who's on their team? I only know one dude on Japan.
Right.
That's why I'm saying.
Hachimura.
Please look up there. Yeah, Rui Hachimura. Listen, I've been telling y'all about Hachi.
Y'all know damn well that probably none of us can pronounce these names without listen.
Oh, I don't need the names. I just want to know the record.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just want to know the record.
I'm over here like.
Well, 2, I guess, right? If USA got 2. But yeah, no, I mean, those are fair statements. I just don't think anybody at the age of 16 is getting any minutes other than 5 in the fourth quarter.
Ooh.
If y'all are blowing the team out.
But then you would be the person who would have denied Luka Doncic his chance at a pro basketball chance because he came in at 14, 15.
Well, that's situational though. But we're talking about the NBA.
If you talk about somebody who's that good. You're telling me Luka Doncic is one of the greatest to ever do it.
But we're not saying that Luka Doncic at 15 was good enough to be in the NBA.
He was good enough to be in a pro situation, so he could be in the G League.
There.
I
understand what you're saying. In the G League, yes, I get that. In the G League, but I feel like
but talent is talent, though, man.
But I feel like we're missing. I feel like we're missing my point because him at 15 over there learning the fundamentals.
That's not different than the G League, man. You see what's happening. You see what's happening in national basketball. It's not much different than the G League. If our G League players, our G League players are G League players. They're not fit enough to be in the NBA. They have to be brought down and developed, right?
Right.
We now have currently high-level NBA players playing overseas against overseas professional players, and they're not matching up, right? So Luka coming over here in the G League wouldn't have been no sweat for him. It probably would have been good for him as far as athleticism and coming over here and learning the plays. Well, that's besides learning the language and all that shit. But as far as him learning the game from an NBA perspective, that's the best move for him. Now, if we say, where's he from? Latvia?
Yeah.
Latvia? If you're saying that's the best professional situation for him, that's good, but we all see what he ended up being. That's not wholly because of Latvia, it's because of skill, right? So you bring him over to the NBA, you teach that at a younger age, and he becomes better at the age he is right now. So that's where I'm at.
So last question, and then, we'll move on. Do you think that's a correlation as to why the Team USA shit in the bed currently?
Shouldn't do what now?
I said, do you think that's a correlation as to why Team USA shit in the bed currently?
You said shit in the bed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't get that last part. I was like, shit in the bed. Basically because they underestimate the competition over. They're underestimating their opponent. That's where I'm at. I think they go out there and they think, oh, they just got Rudy, such and such. I don't know these other guys, but these other guys have been playing since they were 14, 15 years old in the professional league, and they're ready for that.
I agree somewhat, but it's also like different rules.
They're not that different. They're not that different. It didn't matter before. them different rules didn't matter before.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying though. Do you think that the rule change, the style of play is also affecting the current USA team? Because we have teams from other countries that are playing that style of basketball better than we are currently.
I mean, to me, it's like playing spades, ace high, or joker, deuce, deuce. It's the same fucking game.
Except, I can smack your cards out of your hand if you don't hit the table first. They don't count.
Now, I'm not. Are you talking about the goaltending thing?
Anything on the rim can be taken off.
But that's one rule.
But the closer three, all that. What I'm saying is the rest of the world plays that style of basketball, that style specifically. We're the only ones that play our style of basketball, and it's ironic that we're struggling when we put our players, our best players currently, on that court.
I think that's an excuse. I think that's like.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it being an excuse. I feel like you should still be able to pull it out, but something's clearly happening. And like I said, I know it's a all ISO team. I get that, and I said they were going to struggle with that from the jump before they started it. Now that they're in it, do you think that's the only reason that they're struggling, or could it be the adaptation to this style of basketball?
Like you said, so you said they're playing an ISO heavy type of basketball.
No, I didn't say they're playing. Well, yeah, I guess they are somewhat playing that too. I'm just saying every player on the team is an ISO player.
So they're playing more ISO driven basketball.
Right.
They're learning that's not going to work. You play that type of basketball when you have no respect for your opponent. That's me. If you have no respect for your opponent, it's like, all right, give me the ball. I'm finna take this dude to the basket.
Or you just know you're the best. Or you just know I'm better than him in front of me.
If I'm Zach LaVine, I think I'm better than 90% of the people I'm coming up against in the world, in the Olympics. That's how I feel.
Why?
Right?
Maybe just because you play in the NBA?
Yes, it's definitely an ego thing. Okay. It's definitely an ego thing. That's what I'm saying. They're underestimating. It's a Mike Tyson against Buster Douglas thing. Okay. I'm not going to train. I'm going to take pictures and shit. And I'm not going to figure in how much they've been training for this. If that makes sense.
Okay, so you're attesting it to a lack of training on.
I'm going to come after a whole basketball championship run and think I'm going to dominate. Right? Like it's the respect level has to be higher for NBA. Not the NBA, for America, to win a gold or a silver, right? Well, you have to have a more respect level for your opponent. Otherwise, you're going to get trashed like you've been getting trashed.
I feel like that's in general. I feel like that's the whole reason why the whole, I won't call it an argument, the debate started is because, like I said, I believe Luka Doncic is excelling because we're not used to seeing that style of basketball. And since he's been playing that style since he was 15, he has mastered what we've never seen. It's almost like the first person to throw an alley-oop, and we're like, oh, what was that? We didn't know you could do that. We can do that too. Now, later on, you're going to see players adapt in the NBA to that style of ball.
Like you said the last episode, or the episode before that, Luka has a clear and outright leadership position on that team.
Right. Correct.
That's why he's having so much success. People understand that the game revolves around Luka, then it's everybody else. On the U.S. Olympic team, there's so much egos that they don't have the time to be like, okay, look, if we're going to beat these guys, we have to change the way we play. It's not like they're not good enough. They're damn sure good enough. I'm just saying that, like, the way they're playing like they don't have no respect for France. You don't have no respect for Australia. You don't have no respect for
well, let's be honest though.
Nigeria.
Right. We don't have our best. We don't have our best talent on the USA team.
I don't think that's an excuse.
It's not an excuse. It just speaks. This is why they call Americans selfish. Because other players from other country, if they know they're great and they're able to play, they're going to represent their country and they're going to want to win and take
Paul
that
Gasol's
gold.
playing into his 50s.
See, thank you. So LeBron, Steph, I mean, the list goes on. All them other guys that should be playing that aren't playing.
And that was an exaggeration for anybody listening. I was just exaggerating, but
you know what I mean? Y'all, no offense, y'all are selfish. I understand y'all want somewhat of a formidable break from basketball from the season, but at the end of the day, these Lucas and other players from other countries, they don't care about no break. They're representing their country.
It's funny you said that because on that same Flagrant 2 podcast, they started throwing out like wild shit like, well, what if whoever won the Olympics, and this is of course far-fetched, but they were just, throwing out shit, and they was like, well, what if whoever won the Olympics basketball gold moved to the standard dollar?
That I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Now we're talking about economics,
right? But I'm saying like if you knew that Britain could beat you and move to the standard dollar, which would mean our dollar would then be 60 cents. Oh, that means LeBron and Steph and everybody's going to come the fuck up off that bench to step into that game, so they make sure USA
Put
wins.
More on the line.
We're gonna like Jamaica, we got to pay $100 for a cheeseburger.
Something, and I'm saying that's a dumb example. And of course, I'm not saying that their conversation was dumb because they were just throwing shit off the wall. But putting an incentive on this in some way, shape, or form, I feel has to be put in place because of what Malcolm said. It's not even the arrogance, it's the greed as well. Why do I need the glory of winning the gold when I have all the money and all the rings here, right, and we already call our rings world championships?
Right.
Man, you could start bringing up that Russia shit now, as far as like the hockey, because when the United States beat Russia in hockey, it wasn't just about hockey. It wasn't just about hockey.
Right,
it was something else. It was like y'all have just the thing that y'all used to be proud of and hold strong is starting to crack.
Right.
What else is cracking? What else is going wrong? And then after that, the Berlin Wall comes down, or whatever. However you want to put that timeline, or wherever you want to put that.
I know what you mean now. But
so what I'm trying to say is that, like,
Berlin's in Germany.
Yeah, but the wall represents where.
I know what you meant though.
That's where the line was. We're not finna get into that.
Right, shit. I got you.
What I'm talking about. Well, so what I'm trying to say is that when people see what the world will call America's best foot forward, put forth, and not produce, and actually get embarrassed in some cases, it starts to bring up other questions.
Right. Outside of basketball.
Yeah, so if you start looking at the Olympics as a whole, China's right behind us, just in medals, but they're always right behind us. But some people think different about that. So I'm not going to try to put too much politics into it, but I know there is that factor of, if you're a Nigerian team, like, oh, we beat American basketball.
Right.
What else can we beat them in?
Right.
But I mean, I don't care though. That's like the Floyd Logan Paul fight, right? You went in knowing you was going to lose. So if you land a few punches, that's a win in a lot of people's book.
Right.
So the fact that you got the win, I don't care if it was an exhibition win, I don't care what it was. The fact that you can say you beat America's 2020 Olympic team, you should be fucking ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I'll be going, hey, you know what happened in 2020?
Because it's not like we have football. You know what I mean? It's not like we have something that America would dominate in. You expect that to be basketball.
Do we compete in rugby?
Yeah, I think we do.
So.
I did think I don't think we would be the best in that.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's one of them things where it's like cricket, where like each country has that sport where they kind of where it's them.
Yeah, I don't think we're rugby. I think that would be more Britain, Russia,
Australia, New Zealand,
and,
right? All them.
And be careful, Cliff. I don't know if we dominate in football too, because if they treat it the same way in the NFL that they're doing with the NBA. Let's say you got the Derek Carrs being your Team USA quarterback, and you got, you know what I'm saying?
Instead of the Brady's and the Aaron Rodgers, right?
Be
You're right.
Be
You're
real.
right.
They gonna play. They gonna play Cliff? No,
But I guess what
probably
I'm getting
not.
at is when you call yourself the champions of the world because of the association you play in, you should be able to use your 6 men. We're gonna send all our 6 men into the Olympic Games, and they should be able to do the same thing that everybody else is doing because you're the champs of the world, right? So that means that the other places aren't on your level, right? That's what you're saying, right? But it doesn't seem to be looking that way currently. And I'm not saying that we don't have the most exciting brand of basketball. I'm just saying we don't have the most efficient, factually.
If you're an American and you played in the All-Star game and you're not hurt or injured, you should have been required to be on the Olympic team.
Well, that's
AKA
the thing. You can't really
LeBron, Steph
require
Curry.
anything. But I mean, at some point, the Olympics stood for something where it meant service of country, right? Because before, the Olympics was a way to show, like Aaron said, it's about it stands for more than just the game. Like when USA beat Russia in the Olympics, that stood for more than just the game. So when you see all of these patriots, not New England, but people, veterans serving for you, dying for your country, that was your way as an athlete that receives so much from the people that are entertained by you to give back and show you care about your country as much.
Light bulb just came on.
Now wait, I'm sorry, before you say that, with that being said, is this a way of people saying country doesn't care about me, I don't really care about them too much?
Dot connector.
That's what
I was getting ready. That's about to say. What if we're pulling a Colin Kaepernick with some of these athletes, like the LeBrons and Steph Curry's? Like, I'm
playing a dangerous game, my friend. Playing a dangerous game.
Because it makes sense.
But here's what I'm saying: it's one thing to have a family dispute, but it's another thing to let you know that your family is weak.
Right.
That's two different things.
Right.
You can have a dispute within your family, but our family's still strong. You want to come through these doors. It's everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if you find out the family is weak, then you can start picking people out. Well, let me talk to him and get him off there and then the third. So if you start doing, that's the danger part of it. If you want to be like, man, I don't fuck with this country too much, you still a part of this country.
Right.
And if you want to display that in the Olympics, I think you display that. Well, I don't know how you display it. Let me stop there. But
you display it the same way Jesse Robinson did, and
that's what I'm saying. Yes, that's
Jesse Owens.
Jesse Owens. I was about to say. I was
wouldn't
thinking
be a
Jackie
show.
Robinson and
wouldn't be a show. It wasn't one.
I get that, but you don't.
And that's not the dude I was thinking of, though. It's the other dude, the main dude.
What you talking about? What I'm trying to say
not
is
Jesse Owens, the dude that actually did the shit, and Jesse Owens got credit. What the fuck?
I'm talking about this 1970
right,
something.
But it was the other dude that he got the divorce, and he got they like blackballed him and all that shit when he went back home. Like Jesse Owens turned into a celebrity.
Jesse Owens, let's be all the way honest. I think Jesse Owens is a dude from the 30s who played with Ohio State, who broke the long jump record. I don't think
there's multiples. Nah, I think.
But Jesse Owens was from the 30s. You're talking about the dude from the 70s. I don't remember his name.
Track star.
I know who you're talking about.
Track star.
Yeah, he was a track star, but wasn't Jesse Owens.
Let me see.
Jesse Owens was the one that was the 30s. That was the 30s boy right there. I remember, grew up in Ohio.
What I say, Jesse Jackson? No, I'm just playing. It was Jesse Robinson. That's it.
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't Jesse Owens. It might be Jesse Robinson.
Jesse Owens was a track star.
It's the person
yeah, but in the 30s. In the 30s.
He was born in 1913.
No,
yeah.
What I'm speaking of.
30.
What I'm speaking of wasn't it was the
70s,
Hitler shit.
Okay, we talking about. So what did he do? That was he still competed.
Right. But I'm talking about how. On the when he went on the stage and they won the gold and they put their fists up, that was the solidarity of black folks in the United States.
That wasn't Jesse Owens, bro. It's two different. That's two different. I get what you're saying. I'm just telling you that's two different instances. Jesse Owens played and he proved to Hitler that black people were more superior than white people. That's what Jesse Owens did. He's proved that black people are not inferior to white people.
What's his
You're
name?
talking about was in the
Tommy
70s.
Smith and John Carlos.
The ones that went like this. That's the
In
ones that went like this on the
1968.
thing. That wasn't Jesse
Yeah, on the
Owens.
podium.
That wasn't Jesse Owens. Jesse Owens proved to Hitler and all the Germans who thought white people were
You might be
perfect
right.
that
But
guess
that's
what?
not. Is that the name? That ain't the names. I don't think.
Jesse
I
Owens.
just found it on Google. Tommy Smith and John Carlos, October 16th, 1968, in the
Yeah.
Olympics in Mexico City.
Right. You're damn right.
Aaron's right. Definitely wasn't no Jesse Owens.
But regardless,
why I thought
regardless, the point was, it meant more than just your situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Right.
for in thinking of those specific situations, it gave you a platform to show your situation.
That's true. They should play. I think we can all agree that they should play. These people should play.
They're playing straight booty right now. Y'all there playing straight butt cheek, man. Straight butt cheek out there, man.
I mean, I guess when it comes down to it, I just look at it as an opportunity to give pride back to the people that you're entertained by.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's not often that people get to see be a Lakers fan and a Bulls fan and a Celtics fan and all get to come together to
Play
root for
together.
the same goal.
Again, the whole original Dream Team, when they put that together, that was the whole thing.
That was
You got
what I was
Charles,
getting at.
Larry, Magic, David,
That was
Patrick, Chris, everybody playing on this, Clyde on the same team.
Different breed now.
But
the
now
that's
it's like
exactly what I was getting at.
it might be
different
more.
breed.
I don't know. We all know what's going on. We know what time it is.
Kobe turning in his grave right now to this damn USA team.
Oh, you know he is. You know he is.
He turning his grave right now, bro.
Kobe's
I'm like,
probably on his way to Tokyo right now.
right.
His spirit is flying through the air.
Enlightenment.
About to six-man the Olympics because
What's that movie?
Six-man with
Yeah.
Kadeem Hardison and Marlon Wayans.
Yeah, I love that movie.
He's sitting on top of the backboard. Shoot that shit.
Right. You know Kobe, listen, Kobe has dug himself out that grave. Boy, you about to see zombie Kobe step out
Telling
in the
you.
Olympic jersey here before long.
Now,
You
and
see-
I want to take this time to also, because I don't even know what their record is, but I want to dig up the Olympic women's team and hope that they show
Oh, you know
dominance.
they
I hope
shouldn't.
hope they don't show no whatever it is, because we need somebody to fucking.
We talked about them last week, but I think
Let's
it was
talk
just
about them
the.
again.
I think it was just the. I think it was just the exhibitions. It wasn't in Tokyo when we talked about them, so I don't know their record currently in the actual Olympics.
Yeah, but I'm putting my money on them right now. I hope they show up and show out and come
Right.
with the gold.
It's like soccer. You bet
they
on the
gonna put that
girls.
in.
You don't bet on the guys. The fuck?
They gonna tap that ass.
Hey, listen. 'Cause
Yeah, American women have so much more privilege over here overseas. That's not to sound fucked up, but it's true.
It is. No, that's facts. That is facts. A lot of them, if they let them play in the Olympics, they'd have to ball in a hijab.
Exactly. You better wear that goddamn hood. I don't give a fuck what type, how hot it is.
You know what I
200
mean?
degrees, better have that bitch on.
They probably have long skirts to their ankles instead of shorts too. Ain't no between the legs, and
Man.
if it does, it's stuck there.
Exactly.
You
You
hear
call
them?
a timeout. As soon as they have a timeout, goddamn, you know what you're doing out there. You better stop.
But nah, that is the truth. That's why, regardless of current situation or circumstance, I do feel like if you have the opportunity to be in that, you get in that. You
Just
know
like
what
a
I
box-
mean?
Like American boxing, it doesn't matter what's going on. You better go out there and represent. Goddamn it. Are we winning in boxing?
Yeah, we got to do out of
that's a good
Cincinnati, in the featherweights. I don't know about the other weight classes, but I have been following dude. What is his fucking name? Hold up.
That's another one of the sports I feel like we should be in the top tier.
Nah, it's between us, Russia, and
Mexico.
always Mexico. Us, Russia, Mexico. There's one other place I'm thinking of though. I can't think.
The UK.
Ukraine? You have to say.
No,
Not Ukraine. United Kingdom.
I'm not really worried about the UK too tough.
Right. That's why I wasn't thinking.
Duke Reagan.
Shout out Duke Reagan, man.
Yeah, Duke Reagan is his name. I believe he is light or I think he's either a featherweight or I think he's a featherweight, but he comes out of Cincinnati and he's currently undefeated in the Olympics.
They got a double bonus. Not you American. You from Ohio. Good job.
Right.
Good work, man.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's a good one. But I mean, like you, it's ironic, right? Because all of the sports that we've named so far, saying that America should be able to dominate these sports, we don't necessarily dominate anymore. Just in general.
Like baseball. Baseball is probably the biggest one. It's not like an Olympic sport.
Nah, I don't even think that baseball we would dominate. I think that would go to Cuba,
we used to. That was the first American sport to lose it. Was baseball.
That's like, because we invented it.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, basketball got invented in Canada. Okay, I'll give you that. You know.
And football hasn't been, acclimated into the Olympics. But yeah, if we invent the sport, did it make sense?
Boxing invented that.
Huh?
Boxing?
That was UK too. That was overseas.
Being a pugilist.
Mm-hmm. It was made in UK if they named it pugilism.
You gonna be a pugilist? I don't know what that means, but nah.
Right.
I'll whoop your ass something.
Listen, right. And then it got to America. They was like, you mean boxing?
We called it Hayes at first, but niggas didn't like that.
Listen, but I mean, yeah, so you think about sports made in the countries, and that's another thing they talked about on Flagrant 2, which I give them credit for, is they said that that's the natural progression of things. Most countries that create a sport usually do dominate in that sport for a certain period of time until the world catches on, and then they're in the running too. And I feel like that's what's happening with a lot of our sports.
That's cricket. Cricket was like
we balled for a while, but now
it's South Africa, which is pretty much the same place. But
yeah, let's be honest.
Yeah, but
that's cricket part 2, or I mean, UK part, Europe part 2. The
weather down here is a lot better. It's a whole lot better. We do this shit all year round. Just like we could do it in the United States, but this how Los Angeles over a period of time got more of a better reputation in basketball because they could play basketball all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? New York had it, but it's seasonal.
Ain't no indoor gyms. There's too many people
there. They do have indoor gyms, but it's hard to get a run.
Everybody's going to have Everybody's going to have indoor gyms, but when you have people stacked on top of people,
yeah, it's going to be hard for you to get a run. You can't be no amateur out there.
You can only play out in the streets, on the playgrounds, and if they're snowed over, we in the bed shooting up at the ceiling.
Exactly.
Right.
So I think you're right about that. It can start someplace, but someplace going to perfect it. Damn, just like the rap game, because New York, they had to do it up LA.
They coming back trying to jack the drill scene from Chicago.
Yeah, yeah.
They coming back trying to jack the drill scene.
They just want a piece of everything, really. They tried to do the South a little while.
They did.
Yeah, now y'all out here drilling shit.
Got an eyelash in my beard.
That's bad business.
Make a wish, an alcoholic wish.
Wish
God, I hope I'm listening.
Right. Wish my
alcoholic wish. I want to make it to the grave.
In my liver.
Wish the Cavs would do something with themselves.
Might be an alcoholic wish.
Cleveland Guardians, man.
Go Cleveland.
About it.
On Saturday, I seen that. Yeah, I seen that.
Cleveland Guardians.
It's better than Cleveland football team, but
Cleveland baseball team, you mean?
Cleveland, but I'm saying that's what Washington did with the
Washington. Yeah.
Right, but they can't name the Cleveland Indians Cleveland football team.
Cleveland baseball. That's what I'm saying. It was better than Cleveland baseball team.
Right.
Nah, I mean, I fuck with the Guardians, like I said before. I mean, I get it. but they ain't changing everything else. But now it's a petition too. You see, as soon as I said that on that podcast, now I'm sure the petitions were in before, but now it's for the Warriors, like I said, and everybody's like, what's the Warriors? What's the problem with the Warriors? Bitch, you know what the problem with the Warriors is. Just because you got that Golden Gate Bridge don't mean the Warriors wasn't named after a motherfucking Indian.
If anything, though, I would be assuming, okay, we're gonna let the Warriors slide.
Right.
You know, at least
I can see the Warriors.
It's just like the Braves. I ain't heard shit about the Braves. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely an Indian reference.
Or the San Diego Padres, right? Is that what they're called? The San Diego Padres?
Well, the Padres is father in Spanish.
Oh. Yeah. You know how they get those still.
But I mean, it's all Aztec.
Right.
All that's Aztec. All of it correlates. So I mean, yeah. But Mexicans don't give a fuck. They be like, listen, keep the pot. If you change that name.
They let California name damn near all their cities after Los Angeles.
Listen,
that's true.
San Diego.
That's because California is Mexico.
No, so is Texas, but Texas ain't letting that shit go.
Texas,
it's all Texans, Cowboys,
Texas.
But California, we know,
Rangers
occupy the
San Jose and Texas.
Native to that land stayed there. Texas was not the same. There's a lot of Hispanics in Texas for sure.
I'm saying,
but I'm saying
they be wearing cowboy hats and cowboy boots.
My nigga, we talking about the Alamo.
Exactly.
Right.
They was wearing the same shit.
Regardless, the white folks was like, just like the Indians, you can stay, just stay the fuck out of my way.
Hey, well, we all
in California, they was like, we ain't leaving. We ain't leaving. It ain't enough of y'all cowboy hat white folks here to make us leave. They
never left Texas. Let's just keep it real.
Right.
They never left Texas.
Right.
Let's just keep that funky. But
Texas forever.
I get what you're saying. We're not going to go into cultural appropriation. I don't even think that's the real word.
No, that's not right. That's not the right.
What I'm trying to say is that, Mexicans in Texas tend to be of the cowboy culture.
Right.
The big trucks, the F-350s with the cowboy boots and, you know what I'm saying, and the hats. You know what I'm saying? And that's all good. You know what I'm saying?
Just like blacks tend to stay in the corporate slave culture. You usually adapt the area that you're, native to.
Yeah, we all seen the black dude that tried to be. I'm not gonna go there right now.
So I don't know if y'all are finished on that, but I wanted to mention something I noticed last week, Aaron. I wanted to ask you about. So your boy Ben Simmons. I recall something you said last week that basically sounded like you were giving up faith on your boy Ben Simmons.
Ben Sizzle,
the one that you called the man, the defender,
ain't nothing sizzling about Ben.
Ain't nothing sizzling about Ben. Where does
his career is?
It is.
It's sizzling like bacon grease. It's going to disappear in the thing.
So I wanted to ask y'all, because obviously I missed past couple of episodes. So is Ben for sure, y'all feel like getting traded? Is Ben gone?
Definitely.
The end of Ben, and okay.
But I don't think it's if you trade Ben Simmons right now, you're trading a 4-year contract that's worth a lot of money. So if you trade Ben Simmons, if you're the 76ers, it will behoove you to get somebody of an all-star caliber. I don't think anybody wants to give up their best player or second to best player for Ben Simmons.
Well, there's still.
That being said, I don't think Ben Simmons is going anywhere until trade deadline. So he might be the 76ers.
Interested though.
Miami,
seem interested in pulling
Wizards.
the trigger.
Wizards
will pull the trigger.
Cleveland has evaporated from that list, which I'm glad to see.
I think the Warriors were on that list too. I think
the Warriors still. Yeah, I heard they were still interested, but they wasn't on the list either.
I would not be surprised if Ben Simmons is still a 76er at the beginning of the next year. I think at the trade deadline, I think they find something suitable, but I don't think they make a knee-jerk move and try to trade him.
I don't think that's a bad assumption. I think that's a safe assumption to make. But the way I was reading articles, it seemed like they was trying to do a multi-team trade with him involved.
Well, good luck.
I mean,
I don't see the scenario. I mean, I'm not an exec or a GM, but I don't see the scenario where you trade a contract that's upwards of $100 million on somebody who just had a real suspect playoff, and you give up somebody.
You can for multiples if people want See, that's what I was saying with Colin Sexton, right? Like, as a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, there comes a point in time where you're like, yes, this player is worth something and they're good, but if I can get rid of them to fill multiple holes in my gap, that makes sense for me to do that. So what I'm saying with Ben Simmons is you can trade him away for 2 to 3 players in return and some picks. A second round, a third round, you know what I mean? He's not getting a lot of first, but
that's getting up. But to me, that's giving up a lot. You're giving up 2 to 3 players and picks.
You don't think Ben would be hot in Miami?
And maybe catch him. He might be, but he was
that would be a good fit for him.
Well, I'm saying with the 76ers, his season was not indicative of his playoffs. His playoffs, he got a flat tire and was like, you know what? Somebody said something to him. That's me. Somebody was like, man, you can't score or something. And he got like an attitude about it and he decided not to score or something. Because you obviously had a game during the regular season.
It was there. Deeper.
You had points, you had rebounds, you had everything. But now I can only score 4 points, coach. We paying you $100 million. You don't get your dumb ass out there and give me 15 points and 10 rebounds and a triple-double or something. You can't do that. Nah, coach, I can't do it. Y'all gonna fire me because of him? That's what Doc Rivers is probably like. Y'all gonna fire me?
He might turn out to be a bust. He might turn out to be a bust for real, for real. I never was on the Ben Simmons bandwagon. I didn't watch him. I will say I didn't watch him in college.
I was in college.
Knock him there.
I was in college.
I feel like Blankley.
I feel like Ben Simmons is the RG3 of the NBA. Because RG3 was hot at Baylor. Y'all remember?
That might be a decent comparison.
Yeah. But in the league,
RG3 at least showed up in the playoffs when he had a chance.
When he was always hurt in his case.
The first year or two, he showed up when he had a chance.
For Washington.
Was he in the playoffs?
Yeah,
right, I don't remember him. Was he?
I remember he had a good first year until he got hurt.
Right.
Then I remember he came back the second year and got hurt again, and then he never really heard much else from him.
Football is one of those things where the injuries are more. They're more, and that's hard to say too because in the NBA you run so much, but in the NFL you need your legs a lot. Like you really need your legs. If you're a quarterback, you build. So it's one of the things where it's like, you know, I don't know. He had an ACL injury. He had an ACL injury.
He had everything. He did.
Yeah, I know he did, but I don't know if that was his first injury.
No,
I think that was the second injury that kept him out for a while.
Yeah,
because he came back like his 4th year, and he only played like 3 or 4 games, and then you just didn't really hear from him again.
But see, that's even worse.
I'm not going to defend RG3 too tough. Is what I'm going to say. I'm not going to defend him too tough.
That's even worse for Ben Simmons to me because it's not like it's injuries that are pegging you or what you're down for. You just can't.
It is. His parents
mentally injured. He's mentally injured.
No. His parents will not admit they dropped him as a baby, and he caught himself with his wrist. The nigga has something wrong with his wrist.
No, have you seen? That's the problem. Have you seen him practice? The nigga can shoot. He can kind of shoot. It's like Giannis.
Guarding him.
It's like Giannis. It's like when Giannis, you see Giannis at the 3-point line, he's like, man, this man can't shoot. Well, he does a turnaround J and it's butter. You can shoot. I would rather you miss that shit 10 times than you not take it 10 times.
Well, who are we talking to? Who are we talking to here?
You're talking about Ben Simmons.
I would rather you pass the ball and get the rebounds and clean up.
If you're 6'10" and you're passing up open J's.
Nah, pass up the J's, don't pass up the dunks. Now that's the one thing that I can say that's something like you said is in his head. Because if you pass up a dunk at 6'10" and there's no one in front of you in the hole, then you're clearly in your head about something. I don't know what it is. I don't know who you might have knocked up or fucked without a condom before this game. But something's on your mind.
Your ex-girlfriend there with her new boyfriend every game.
Listen, you worried about them dash
got floor tickets. Them floor tickets you bought her.
Right, he like Kendall fucking with Booker. I was just with her a couple months ago, and now I can't get my fucking shot right.
Man, maybe that's it. What I'm trying to say is that Ben Simmons, his turnaround bunny hook or whatever, not a full-blown three-point
I know
jam.
what you mean.
His close-up, his close range over the season was good. Then he just decided to just, I don't know. I don't feel like talking about that shit all day.
I mean, but I heard Heat, Raptors, and Wizards for him. Out of the three, what you think is the best spot?
Heatles, Jimmy Butler.
I definitely think the Heat. I don't think the Wizards are going to be as complete as they were this year. I think they're going to get rid of either Russell or Beal.
I would say the Heat. I would say Jimmy Butler has the the leadership to just be like, nigga, if you don't shoot, I'm gonna punch you in the stomach.
Right.
He'll get him together. Yeah.
Right.
Pick
Wait a minute. Time out.
We can describe this whole game where you can shoot this layup.
Time out. Hold on. Would it work? Because they already played together. Remember, Jimmy played that 1 year in Philadelphia and wasn't.
You're right about that.
Cats.
You're right about that.
I wasn't thinking about that either.
But I don't know if that was Jimmy's team. I think that was still Joel's.
No, it wasn't Jimmy's team, but I'm saying Jimmy like came out and said I didn't really like these guys. Like these guys didn't have that drive and that passion that I wanted.
Then it's Toronto then for Ben, because you might go to the Heat and Jimmy might be like sitting in his locker like, hey, I have to shoot it this time.
But
right.
Like you said, if you're gonna do a Toronto move, then that leads me to believe that you're gonna do a big name for a big name. Because they don't have a lot of Pascal or Cal.
Yeah.
Cal's from Philadelphia. No, he played for Philadelphia.
No, I think he's from Philly.
Okay.
Is he?
Yeah, I think he's from Philly.
That's a champion. That's a championship caliber team.
I think so. With Kyle on it and Embiid and all that.
They didn't really have a point guard solidified.
Yeah, I think that might be a good move.
I mean, Ben is a hard move right now, man. I'll be sitting there looking at Ben in practice to the glass every day, like, man, goddamn.
Where am I going to drop you off at? What doorstep?
Right.
Taking every phone call. Who is this? The Grizzlies? What's happening? What's going on? What y'all talking about?
Ben's the unwanted stepchild.
Anybody calls, nigga, I don't give a damn. Put them on the phone. The Pistons, what y'all talking about? Okay.
Right.
That would be the best place to offload him. I could see him going to the Pistons too. Just because of the squad, not because, I can see him in a Pistons jersey. I can see him being Blake Griffin 2.0. That's where you sit him off, huh?
You want to take a couple seasons off?
I just feel like that's where you send him off to the pasture. Spots like Cleveland or Detroit or, But right now, the only difference is both of those teams, I feel like, are both striving for the rebuild. So even them, they're like, I don't know if that fits what we got going on right now. And Ben Simmons,
interested. I don't see him being engaged on that team. Like I'm finna take the Pistons and turn them around. No. You had a chance at a championship last year and you didn't show up.
I mean, but that may be different because you may be leaning on your crutches, being Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid and all them. You know what I mean? But knowing that you on Detroit with no crutch and you got to be the leader of the team, it's like, well, it might force him in that right position, I guess. I don't know.
I feel like you're rolling the dice if you're the Pistons. Yeah. I feel like you're rolling the dice.
I wouldn't be interested.
Like you have a potential bad decision.
Yeah, I wouldn't want no Simmons.
Listen, me being from Ohio, we don't rock with Michigan, but I wouldn't wish Ben Simmons on nobody. No, I'm just playing. But that's a fucking shame. I'm just saying contractually with the production that you receive on the back end, it doesn't make sense to.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Philly made that burden Lay in that bed, G. You know what I mean?
I mean, they drafted him.
It ain't even beyond drafted him because you could have got rid of him early, but you gave him that contract too, though, didn't you?
Right.
I did, and to be honest, up until then, I saw that contract as a good move. I did until I saw, like, it's. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what happened this playoffs, man. There's some, I don't know, man. I'm giving this man too many excuses, but it didn't look right. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't look.
You say Ben Simmons is Deontay Wilder in the Tyson Fury fight.
I'm saying somebody came to Ben Simmons' room with a baseball bat talking about, I'm going to break your legs if you make more than 2 dunks next game. So pick which one you want to have. He's like, you know what? You seem like some real Philly niggas, man. I'm not finna fuck with y'all. I'm not finna do that. That's. I'm not saying that happened, but it seems like.
Right, I know what you mean, though.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you make money off of this, not doing 2 dunks. Oh, this is the 3rd dunk. Pass.
that might be accurate. You know, he's Australian, so he's not from the States.
Yeah,
exactly.
So motherfuckers might get in his head and what's the word I'm looking for? Intimidate.
Nigga, sit this nigga down, show him Soprano episodes, shit, and Godfather.
It's clear he's intimidated by the big moment, so I can only imagine he's intimidated by the big nigga on the block.
Every time he missed one of them dunks, he look right in the crowd, look for that dude who took on you. You do a good job.
Hop off Ben. Let's leave Ben alone, man. Damn, Big Ben. They about to tear you down and reconstruct.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
What other trade rumors y'all heard of? I heard a couple of them.
Bradley Beal to the Celtics, I think.
I didn't
heard that.
Yeah, something like niggas trying to. They said Bradley Beal didn't say he wants to be traded, but
yeah, I heard they shopping him around. I did hear that. I just didn't hear Celtics as nowhere.
Well, at least, hey, niggas is listening. Bradley Beal had at least he damn near averaged 30 points last season.
Yeah, Bradley's
on the Wizards. You gotta think if I want to rebuild this team, I got a good trade piece right here.
And you said Celtics, and
I believe it was the Celtics. I gotta look that up.
But they already
Jason Tatum and
Jaylen Brown. They already shooting guard heavy.
But you don't think they're trying to do something like the Nets and try to match up?
You don't have to.
But where do you? So
get rid of Marcus Smart and somebody else and get a Bradley Beal.
I wouldn't get rid of Marcus Smart.
I'm just saying,
Boston.
This is. You want to match up with the Nets. You can't match up with defense. You got to match up with offense for the most part.
I feel like if I was, Bradley Stevens now, because isn't he in the front office now?
Yeah.
I would feel like I'm pretty confident in our chances because Jaylen Brown didn't play that game, and we still gave the Nets hell before everybody got hurt and went out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So with Jaylen Brown and maybe a few additions, small pieces, we're back there. We're not only are we back there, but we're in there. Because I said the only other team that I seen beating the Nets out of the East, other than who was it? No, I don't think it was the other than. I said I think the only team out of the East that I thought that had a chance to beat the Nets would have been the Celtics.
Well, we had originally before
fully healthy though.
Before Julius Randle shit himself in the playoffs. Remember, originally going into the playoffs, we thought the Knicks. Remember, we said the Battle of New York. This is way couple episodes back. We had all agreed on the Battle of New York to be something.
What was it, Above the Rim Part 2 or something like that? Right. But I didn't say that I thought that the Knicks would beat them. I just said I would.
No, we said it'd be an interesting run for the money.
But yeah, as far as teams beating them in the East, the only team that I really saw doing that would have been the Celtics, and they were matched with them out the gate with no Jaylen Brown. So I feel like you may have a different game coming around the corner next year. Because you had a lot of good play from a lot of players on that team you didn't expect to. After he went out, you know what I mean? And I listen, I don't care what nobody says. I like Peyton Pritchard.
Oh, yeah, he was cool.
I heard they looking at no, well, I can't remember what article and I can't remember the spot I read it at because I was questioning the read, but I heard that the Celtics wouldn't be against shopping Kemba. And at this point, I
heard that too.
I think that might be a good idea. He's not the right fit.
They made that clear during the season last year.
Well, this was recently that I saw the article. I just can't remember who it was.
Kimba's expendable.
I definitely believe that.
Kimba's one of them players where his health is always a question.
But I feel like it's for the right price though, because it's kind of like Terry Rozier. You know what I mean? Y'all let him go, and then look what he did with Charlotte. And he was on the incline when they let him go. He was on the incline when they let him go.
Terry Rozier is another Ohio boy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give him his respect. But I think him going to Charlotte is what should have happened. You needed a team that had less notoriety to kind of get your whole stardom because he was trying to do too much with the Celtics, man.
I understand what you're saying there. He was trying to take it over himself, but he was also good enough too.
He was nice.
He was also good enough to take over the Celtics by himself and just let it be him, Jason, and Jalen. If y'all was smart, that would have been a mean combo.
If I had to pick Kemba Walker over Terry Rozier, I'm picking Kemba Walker though.
Definitely, but that's not the only. It wasn't like it was a tit for tat. It wasn't an even trade.
That Gordon Hayward too.
Yeah, they got more than just Terry Rozier for.
Yeah, but we all know what happened to Gordon Hayward. He's on the players.
But was he part of that trade?
I believe so. He's on the Lakers now too, didn't he?
I think so.
But I know they didn't trade Gordon Hayward and Kemba Walker for Terry Rozier.
I mean, you mean, hold on.
Right, that's vice versa, right? Like those are Terry Rozier is the pickup guy. He's the we'll throw him in there. But he wasn't the main squeeze to get Kemba and Gordon. He was an addition.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Gordon Hayward he's on the Hornets right now. So conceivably, the Hornets gave up Kemba Walker and got Gordon Hayward and Terry Rozier.
Right, you're right. I'm tripping. They gave Kemba Walker and Gordon Hayward, right. You are absolutely correct. Yeah, I had it backwards. You are absolutely correct.
They thought Kemba Walker was going to be a good addition.
I don't know why I was mixing up the Utah trade to the Celtics with that Terry Rozier, but yeah, you're right because
they got is that when they got Favors from the Celtics?
Derek Favors.
When did he play for the Celtics?
Is he on the Celtics?
No,
right,
he
that's
never
what I was
played for the
Celtics.
Favors played for Utah. Yeah.
And he played for Utah and some. I'm gonna look it up. That's gonna bug me.
Yeah,
he did go somewhere else because he had longer hair when he went there.
Right. Let me see.
But yeah, no, you.
That nigga know.
You are right though. It was Hayward and Rozier for Walker. That makes more sense because I was like, yeah, no, Terry was the plus one. He wasn't the guy that they were expecting to be what he was. And then you look at it in hindsight, and it's like Terry was more impactful than Gordon Hayward.
He's definitely more useful because you're on the court doing something.
More impactful as well. The only reason why Gordon Hayward was impactful when he was because he was in Utah without a Donovan Mitchell.
And he had J work, and his leg wasn't broke in half. Because his second game with the Celtics, Kyrie threw him an alley-oop, and the season was over with. The whole season and a half was over. He missed a whole season with Kyrie. Kyrie left. He came back the other year, which was 2019. Yeah. Was that 2000?
No, that was 2018.
20?
Because Kyrie won the chip with Cleveland in 16, went to the Celtics in 17. That would have been when Hayward got hurt because they met up there. And then in 18, Hayward came back. They played that season, and that's when Kyrie was talking about he didn't want to lead that young team.
Then he left.
Right. Right. Yeah, because he was in the Nets in 19 because KD was out the first season, and then last year was the first season that they had him back and got Harden, right?
She won the 19-20 season. 2019-2020.
Okay, so then it was Kyrie and KD, right? And then they got Harden next year. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I knew I was tracking some kind of way, but I heard Mox Lakers is looking at Buddy Hield.
I seen Landry Shamit's on the radar.
I did hear Dallas wants him.
I did hear Buddy Hield. Also, Russell Westbrook was in the talks last week. Kyle Lowry, Chris Paul last week. I hope we don't get Russell.
Kyle Lowry wouldn't be. Well, no, Kyle Lowry can't really. Kyle Lowry can't really score you consistent points.
Well,
he'll give you a consistent 18 to 20, 23 time to time. But I feel like what LeBron is asking for is someone that can put up points when he needs to sit out. Kyle Lowry's not him.
From what I understand, they don't want to let go of Schroeder for no cheap price. They want to move Schroeder.
But he wants to come back. No,
he wants high level talent for Schroeder.
Well, Schroeder's saying he wants paid like a starting point guard on a. Basically, he's not following the motto, right? Because LeBron's like, listen, in order for you to be on this squad, we need everybody to take a little pay cut so we can get what we need to win. And Schroeder's like, nah, nigga, I've been doing something. I want to get paid what I'm worth.
Yeah, they offered him 84.
And I can kind of understand it too, because even when he was in Atlanta. And even when he was in Atlanta, he proved himself to be better than a bench player. And I think people considered him that. Where did he go after that?
Oklahoma City?
Oklahoma City, yeah.
Right. And then there they gave him like the shot to start and all that. And he looked a little better, which is why LeBron was interested in taking him. But he never really got paid for what he's done. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like at least with Kyrie had a time before LeBron was there where you got paid a little bit because you were outside of your rookie contract. Didn't get paid what you were worth by no means. But you got paid a little bit more. And I feel like Schroeder's in a similar situation, kind of where it's like, yeah, I got a little bit more, but I don't think I've ever made what I'm worth.
I mean, in the words of Lou Williams.
And you won't in L.A.
Nigga, Lou Williams said, I've been in the league since 2005. I've never made more than $10 million a year. And that's a travesty to me. It's a travesty. So I don't agree. Because he's been $6 million a year a lot, and you got people definitely making 15, 20. Schroeder just turned down $21 million a year.
But it don't matter, in my opinion, it don't matter how good you are if you're not willing to give me. And like you said, Lou Williams isn't always willing to give you everything.
Okay, but if you look at the tenure of this man in the league, you would figure at some point in time, somebody would offer
Not
him.
if people are like he's not motivated. We
Well,
give
that's
him
why
what
he
he
won.
deserves.
That's why he damn near retired. He's like, man, I was looking at I got you see all these dudes. I'm gonna keep saying Alan Crabb for the rest of my life because he made 79 million off of 4 years. I don't know how he did that. What I'm trying to say is there's all types of bogus
I agree with what you're saying, but
players
it's
who are
also
making. Timothy Mozgov got 90 million for 5 years
From Cleveland.
from the Lakers.
Damn. Well,
Remember that?
They didn't
got
keep
traded to
him.
the Lakers.
but that was coming
didn't
from
keep him.
right. But what I'm saying is it's all about rolling the dice too. You know what I mean? People talk shit about LeBron for having to build a super team to get a ring, but don't get mad at the fact that Jordan just rolled 7 out the gate and came to a squad that had Phil and a GM that was willing to put players around him. That's a lucky roll of the dice. It could have just as easily been you went to motherfucking Charlotte and was stuck there with motherfuckers like, well, what do I do here? And nobody's going to help me. So I'm going to be the best Jordan I can be and take my talents to South Beach like he did. It's all about a roll of a dice. Some people get lucky. Some people don't. Some people go to the best position. Some people go to the worst position.
I mean, you're right about that. On one hand, I'm still on the side of making a level of competitiveness and athleticism that needs to be met by every person on this team, and being very stern about that.
Right.
That's the only thing I would give Jordan on that. Now you're right. He did get Pippen and everything. You got to give the Jerry dude his credit. He did put Pippen there. He brought Kukoc in.
Rodman.
You know what I'm saying? You got Phil Jackson in there and everything. That's great. But what I'm trying to say is you also have to like with LeBron, he got the team he wanted, but he still lost two out of 4. You know what I'm saying? He got the squad he wanted, but he still lost 2 out of 4. You know what I'm saying? You got everything you wanted. Your friends, the coach, great team, great place, and you still won 2 out of 4.
No, I don't know. I definitely understand it, but it's still, and not to get into the argument, but it still comes down to the roll of a dice. Because, once again, Jordan rolled those dice immediately. He came to a place, didn't have Phil at first, but got Phil eventually. The people around Jordan, when they pulled him in, had a vision as to where they wanted the Bulls to go, and they set up pieces that Jordan didn't have to set up for him to get there. Whereas LeBron was in a situation with Cleveland like, yeah, I'm the best. I brought y'all to the championship out of my first couple years. Are y'all going to help me at all? And he spent, 4 or 5 years figuring out they're not going to help me. Okay, I got to do it myself. Not only do I have to do it myself, but because I am doing it myself, I have to now be manager of my career as well. Those are things that Jordan didn't have to worry about because the people managed it for him. He just had to go out and play ball, and we'll put pieces around you.
That's
now,
not true. We see how much. Like, let's not get into this argument. Let's not go all in. But you see the pressure that he put on his teammates. Real deal pressure. Like, you better show up and show out. Like, for real. You know, and that's the type of person he was. And also to put him towards that, his trek towards the playoffs, it wasn't like he wasn't making the playoffs. He just figured out he wasn't big enough. So he started working on himself as well. LeBron James was a naturally talented big guy.
Right.
Where Mike was like, look, I'm 6'6". I got to get in the weight room myself. And I need to make myself better. So what I'm trying to say is that Mike's situation is just a little bit different because he wasn't so much worried about his teammates at first as much as he was worried about getting himself right.
No,
then once he got himself right, he started looking at his teammates. LeBron has always been right. He's always been right. He's always been 6'8", 6'9".
Once again, that's a part of a roll of a dice, right? Now, usually, I'm not always going. And you know what? That may even be a wrong analogy to say. I can't equate it to an economy because the rich always get richer. But what I'm saying is, you don't usually see a man like LeBron go to a squad that's built for championship status. That's the guy that the guppies go for, that the lowest tier have the opportunity to get. You won't see something like that usually happen. Now in Chicago, regardless of the position that they're in as far as their record goes, meaning they could be slipping off, the market is still bigger to the point that you have people that are pushing for something. You know what I mean? There's a plan here because I'm in a city that even if I'm not me as the coach or whatever I am here, I have people in my ear, boosters, sponsors, all that are like, well, why don't you?
But that didn't start. See, the only difference is when you talk about Chicago in 84, 85, it's a Bears city, it's a Cubs city. It's definitely not a Bulls city.
It's a sports city that proves.
Sports city, but listen to what I'm telling you, because it was definitely a Bears city and a Cubs city and a White Sox city.
What's Cleveland ever been?
I get what you're trying to say, but the bottom of the barrel was the Bulls team. The last thing anybody was thinking about or cared about was the Bulls team. So,
but management.
I get what you're saying. Cleveland is a smaller place and it's done a third, but Cleveland still has a professional baseball team and a professional football team. And let's be real, in the 80s, it's probably more about the Browns than the Cavs would ever be, right? Same situation.
Right. No. Yeah, right. I'll give you that.
So what I'm trying to say is that Michael Jordan took a team of the same league status, because the Bulls were never shit. You're talking about Artis Gilmore was part of the best Bull up till then. Artis Gilmore, I think Jerry Sloan were the best Bulls ever to play the game, right? Until Jordan got there.
Right.
Changed the culture. LeBron James was on Cleveland. He changed the culture. I'm not saying that, but he also was like, look, I'm going to go to a team of my choice, the players of my choice. I'm not going to roll the dice. I'm going to pick the dice. I'm going to take the dice and I'm going to put them on a 3 and a 4, right? And I'm going to go to Miami with Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and all them other boys, and still lose twice.
Well, but this is what I'm saying though. Regardless of that, you're not putting it into account of, like I said, market. Regardless of the fact, when we think about contracts and I say, why doesn't fucking Damian Lillard leave Portland? And you say something to me like, well, that's a tech area, so I'm sure he's got stocks in a lot of places and all that. And you think about all the opportunities as into coaching that I can bring into a place like Chicago. How many headquarters is Chicago for a lot of big businesses? How many headquarters is Cleveland? What sponsorships come with anybody coming to Cleveland?
Man, look, you got to...
No, what I'm saying is, listen, let me make my point. What I'm saying is, when someone gets sent to Cleveland, normally it's a death sentence. It's a, we want you out the league, we'll give him a coaching job in Cleveland. Or we'll put you in Cleveland. For LeBron, it was him being recruited as a rookie there, right? So it wasn't a death sentence, but he was around dead bodies when it comes to management, coaching, everything. He was around dead bodies. That's something that you can't attest. You can't argue that.
I'm not arguing that. But
you can't. No one can.
So what I'm saying is... From a city standpoint, though, you're wrong.
From a what standpoint?
From a city standpoint. Who were Chicago's rivals in the 80s? Their real rivals. The Cleveland Cavaliers.
Well, that doesn't mean that you don't.
No, but I'm not saying they're both factory cities. They're both hardworking factory cities. They're both blue-collar cities. When you ask who's the main people from Chicago, it's factories. Like
I
Cleveland.
understand what you're saying,
It's
but
factories.
you can't argue the size, the comparison between the two.
The market?
Exactly. The economy, all that. Even the area, sheer area alone. You can't argue that. It's big brother, little brother. And I get it. Big brother and little brother can always compete, but usually Big Brother comes out on top. Why is that? Because they've been established for longer. And that's how Chicago and Cleveland is. You can make all the arguments you want, but how many good coaches have ever come through Cleveland? The only ones.
How many good coaches have come through Chicago?
Well, I'm saying one, arguably the best. Arguably the best, though. But listen to my point. My point is, when you say the best coach that has come out of Cleveland, you probably have to give it to Tyronn Lue. What's the correlation between Tyronn Lue and Cleveland? LeBron James. It's not the same. It's not the same. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that one's not better than the other, because once again, I will still say I rock with Jordan, but you cannot downgrade LeBron like he's just not on the same level. It's just a roll of the dice is the only difference.
I get what you're saying. It's a roll of the dice. And like I said, when it comes to Cleveland, you're right about the team he was on. But when you talk about the actual franchise of Cleveland, when Jordan got there, compared to when LeBron got there, they're neck and neck. Size. They're neck and neck. They're both garbage ass teams who didn't do shit.
But regardless, you have to understand that when somebody implements a team, when a team is in your city, that means they're included in everything. The government's involved. All of those people are like, let's put funding into our team, our stadiums, our team, all that. So when you look at a Chicago and you look at a Cleveland, there will never be equal funding, regardless of how it looks. From the talent of player, you don't have the same amount of capital to work with in Cleveland as you do in Chicago. In any era. Cleveland's not Detroit. They're not Motor City. There's never been a point where Cleveland was like, yeah, no, not Cleveland. But Chicago has always been big city. You think of out east cities, you think of New York, Chicago, and so on.
I agree.
You can't say that's wrong. So when you think like that, you think of government funding, you think of all these backings. Cleveland doesn't have what Chicago has. So when you think of a coach like Phil Jackson, why the fuck would Phil Jackson come to Cleveland even if Jordan was there? That's not enough. For me to come to Cleveland, that's not enough. I don't care what talent this boy may have. That's not enough for me, the coach that I am, to come to a market like that.
Well, they had Pippen already when Phil got there. You know that, right?
Right.
They had Phil and Pippen.
So you're saying, Jordan and Pippen in Cleveland is enough for Phil to say, I'll take the cut. I'll take the pay cut.
Compared and all from a basketball standpoint, we started getting into cities, and I might have outspoken myself when it comes to Chicago or Cleveland. I'll give you that. But the Bulls franchise was not the most important thing in Chicago.
No. I'm not saying
at
that.
all. So here's what I'm trying to say. Just like in Cleveland, the Cavaliers is not the most important franchise there.
I agree.
Right? They are similar situations.
I agree.
They're very similar. The United Center, right, where the Bulls will have their most famous, was not built until 1972. It's 8 years in of Michael Jordan playing top-level basketball from 84 to 92. That's when they finally built the United Center. Right? Same thing with LeBron. The Quicken Loan Center, whatever the fuck the name of shit is.
Yes, it
took time for that to be built because they both didn't give a fuck about their franchises. And for a long time, Cleveland was beating the Bulls. And when we had that Jordan over Craig Elo, where he was so excited and he was fist pumping and shit like that because Cleveland was beating them every year. And they just finally got past them. So what I'm trying to say is that Cleveland Cavaliers and the Bulls, when LeBron got there and when Michael Jordan got there, they were in the same boat. When you talk about rolling the dice, you're right. Michael Jordan he got Scottie and all them people. That's great. He got to stay in Chicago. LeBron changed up and went to Miami. Picked his team and did not have the same success. All
I'll say is if they was in the same boat, Jordan was up top on the roof of the Titanic and had access to the lifeboats, and LeBron was down with the peasants locked in the cabin while that bitch filled up.
That's definitely not true.
That definitely is true. They weren't in the same situation. You can't say just because Cleveland had enough talent to beat Chicago back in the day that the markets are similar to where they both had a chance to make their own opportunities. No, that's not the case.
You know what the big difference is that we're leaving out, that is the big difference between LeBron and Jordan.
What is
it's the motherfucking shoe. It's the motherfucking shoe. The shoe makes the whole difference.
What you mean, the Jordan?
The Jordan shoe,
the rings, all that make a difference.
It made a big difference because
I'm just saying it came with a dice roll.
Man, we're not gonna. We might as well just move on.
It just came with a dice roll. If you put LeBron somewhere like the Knicks, because you could say the same thing about the Knicks, right? That they wasn't shit.
They won a championship in 1972 with Willis Reed. The Knicks come from a whole big. The Bulls and the Cavaliers come from nothing. They didn't win shit. The Knicks.
I'm talking about from what you're saying. You're talking about a talent standpoint, not a market standpoint.
Okay, so what are we talking about here?
You were talking about a talent standpoint as opposed to a market standpoint. What I'm saying is it's the same thing as saying because the Knicks were not talented, if you do not go through them, to them, that they don't have the capital to put pieces in place. Cleveland has nothing but the mob and never has. You look at New York, Chicago, places like that, there's other things there. There's other things popping. There's other things that can get behind you. Cleveland does not have those opportunities. So what I'm saying is, if LeBron went to a New York as opposed to a Cleveland, I guarantee you New York would have made moves to get him something to assist as opposed to let him go to Miami because we do not have the capital to assist. You understand what I'm saying? Because our market is so small, we now have to offer players more money to want to come because they can say, why would I come to Cleveland if I can make a couple $100,000 less and be in Miami? I'm not doing it. That's what I'm getting at. When you're in a New York or Chicago, it's easy to entice someone there because there's at least other shit there. You can get involved with other shit. Once you're in Cleveland, it's nothing but Cleveland, baby. Is that wrong? Is that outside of the box to say?
To be a little bit honest with you, when you talk about the era of Chicago in the 80s, yes. Because you have to understand, Chicago in the 80s was just like Detroit, bro. There wasn't shit there. Niggas was losing jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Chicago.
Has downtown Cleveland ever been bigger than downtown Chicago?
It's never been bigger than downtown Chicago.
All right.
I will give you that.
That's all I needed to know.
Chicago has women and more sports distractions.
That's all I needed to know. And that's what I'm saying. Other sports, it's just like college. Other sports bring in money. College football brings in money for volleyball and brings in money for so the Cubs bring in money for the Bulls.
So do the Browns. The Browns don't bring in money. Let's just be honest with you.
They do now. They do now, but I wouldn't say.
Oh, okay, so the Browns and the 80s didn't bring in money.
I mean, who they have? Jim Brown?
That's not the 80s. Jim Brown was the 60s.
Oh, yeah. See?
I'm talking about when it comes down to it.
It's not comparable. I mean, I understand like reaching for it, but it's just not comparable. It's not comparable. Nobody in their right mind can compare the two. You just can't compare it. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Jordan's legacy.
I'm not talking about that. I'm just
saying it's a lottery pick. That's why they call it a lottery pick in the draft. It's a lottery. You pull from the lottery. So it's a roll of the dice. One person can get the best situation. One person can get the worst situation. And we can say LeBron got the worst situation. Jordan, on the other hand, did not. I'm not saying he got the best. I'm just saying he did not get the worst. It's impossible for someone in the top 5 to ever go to a team that's just going to be a dominant team out the gate. That's not how it's designed. It's designed for the weakest team to be able to get the strongest player to be able to compete. So we understand that Jordan isn't going to come to the ideal situation. I'm just saying that LeBron came into worse.
Right. Well,
That
I mean,
shouldn't be argued.
the facts are, we talked about this us three before in the past. We know Jordan's had one of the best. He went to college. We know that. He's had one of the best college coaches of all time. Right. So that's a fact. He had success in college. He went to the NBA. We know he's had one of the best coaches, if not the best coach of all time for most of his career in Phil Jackson. LeBron, to Cliff's point, I will say, didn't go to college. Yes, that was his choice. I will say that. But he didn't have as much ammo as Jordan had with the luck of fortune.
Even
It's like I'm forgetting about the first 6 years. Like the first 6 years didn't exist. The first 6 years.
What happened?
I'm talking about from 84. It's from 84 to 90. Before they got Phil.
I get it. I get all that. But wait.
That's all I'm bringing up.
But wait. But at the same time, did LeBron bring Cleveland to the finals in his first 3 years in the league?
True.
Who else was on the team?
Okay.
Eric Snow.
Okay.
Name one other person that was on the team.
Eric Snow.
Okay. And my only battle against that is that Mike brought the
Bring
Bulls
home.
to the finals or pre-finals, going up against the Pistons, Larry Bird in his prime, Isaiah Thompson
I'm
in
not
his
taking
prime,
away from Mike.
Patrick
Once
Ewing
again,
in his prime.
I'm Jordan over James. And I want to say that again for the people listening. I just don't like it when people try to play James like he's nothing at all.
Let me put it in perspective. So you talk about the first 3 Lakers championships. Who did they beat? They beat the 76ers with only one good player.
The first 3 Lakers championships?
With Phil Jackson and Kobe Bryant and Shaq. They beat who? The Nets, who were a weak team. They beat the Pacers, who had Reggie Miller on his last leg, and they beat the fucking 76ers. The only person they had was Allen Iverson. So it's not like they were wiping through great teams. They didn't beat no great teams in the first 3.
What's your point?
My point is the competition level in the East was low.
But it doesn't. It doesn't matter because listen, I think our confusion is coming into the fact that you're just focused on that singular thing of the competition, and I'm focused on the market and economy powerhouse behind you. Regardless of how bad, it's still LA. Who would not want to come? If someone offered you a job in LA, you'd go to LA. If someone offered you a job in Cleveland and you are from LA, you'd say, why the fuck would I go to Cleveland? Which means that dollar value that you have in Cleveland has now decreased because now I have to pay you more to entice you to come somewhere where there isn't anything. There's nothing for you here. That was J.R. Smith's whole thing. I was kicking it in New York. I got to focus on my game when I was in Cleveland because there's nothing for me to do.
And I get that. And my only rebuttal is when you talk about Chicago and Cleveland in the 80s, they were and Detroit for that matter.
Economic power is different for all of them.
All 3 of those places were the same place. All 3 of those, Cleveland, Detroit, and Chicago were 3 interchangeable places. 3 interchangeable.
Detroit and Cleveland, still to this day's downtowns are bigger than, Detroit and Chicago's downtowns still to this day are bigger than Cleveland. How many auto manufacturers are in Cleveland? Because that's what put Motown on the map, the Motor City. Mm-hmm. The car, we don't have that in Cleveland. So that economy doesn't exist here.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? So that's why Detroit's downtown is bigger, because they were funded by that automotive industry. Chicago's is just bigger because it's a bigger market in general. We don't need that automotive industry. We have so many different economic avenues that automotive doesn't matter. Cleveland, on the other hand, has crack cocaine.
Okay.
I'm being stupid, but you see what I'm saying. What does Cleveland have to offer?
The factories that Cleveland had were not spectacular factories. They weren't the car factories or no shit like that.
Name anything.
Cleveland, Detroit, and Chicago were all.
Did we have good barbecue? Do we have Tech?
Does Chicago have good barbecue?
I'm saying
Does Detroit have good barbecue?
What's
What are you
one
talking
thing
about
that
here?
Cleveland has to add to their economic powerhouse so
I
they can
want you to name-
compete
I
with
want-
Detroit or Chicago?
I want you to name what Chicago had in the A's besides just having a big city. What do they have besides that?
Pure mass is more in volume. Listen, you asking me to start teaching you fucking geometry and geography all in
I'm
the
not
same.
trying to teach you that. I'm just trying to say that. Well, all I'm trying to say is that those two franchises, the Cleveland
it.
Cavaliers and the Chicago Bulls, were both afterthoughts in their own city, whether big or small. The last thing we're thinking about is them.
I
The
get it.
infrastructure, yeah, and all that, but there's still that climb up to the top. We have to make it to the best thing in that city. The Cavaliers weren't ever over the Indians or the Browns in their city. Am I right?
You said what?
Until LeBron
Cavaliers or
got
what?
there. The Cavaliers were never over the Browns or the Indians in their city until
Right.
LeBron got there.
Right.
The Bulls were never over the Cubs or the Bears until Michael got there.
Right.
Right. I'm saying their trajectory is more similar than people will lead me to
I
believe.
get it. I get exactly what you're saying. I'm
And
just trying to explain that they're false equivalents.
Cleveland does not have the capital to bring in great talent because it's not a
Period.
popular
Whether
city to
even
people.
if you
I get
even
that.
if you calculated the Browns and the Indians with the Bears and the Cubs, the market is nowhere similar. Nowhere similar. And like we said before, it's like college. One sport brings in more money for all of them. So when your markets are higher with the Bears and the Cubs, the Browns and the Indians can't compete. Yeah, they may be able to funnel in some money, but now we're talking about education when it comes to inner city and the suburbs. Yeah, we're in the same area, but they're getting hella more than we're getting here.
How will we even get to Chicago versus Cleveland? I just thought about it. I took a piss, a couple minutes, yelled at my kids, came back.
It all came out of Jordan and LeBron.
I don't remember. I don't even remember.
I got a lot of family in Chicago that grew up, and a lot of them was trying to get out in the 80s. They didn't want to be there.
I get it. Listen,
And
I've never been to either.
And all I'm saying is that, like,
That's where the crack
from the
epidemic
outside
is.
looking in, it's like from the outside looking in, it's like, yeah, I want to go to New York. But when you go to New York, you get eaten alive because you thought it was a little bit sweeter than you thought. It's not.
that's
Same thing with
everybody.
LA. If I want to go to Cleveland or LA, you might want to go to
But
LA.
who says
because
that?
it's the
No,
biggest place.
that's my question. Is who says that? Who says that I want to go to Cleveland? Who says that, Aaron?
Who says I
Name
wanna go
one
to
person
Chicago?
you've known that said I want to move to Cleveland.
Who says they want to go to Chicago except for people that have been to Chicago? Name the stars who be like, man, I want to go to Chicago.
I'm not even
Join
saying
up.
stars. I'm saying people you know. Name someone you know that's like, I want to move to Cleveland. People, even being from Columbus, people say, I have to move to Cleveland. I got a job. I got to move to Cleveland.
I hear
No
this.
one says, I want to move to Cleveland.
Who-
I know
how many
people
people-
that
how many people-
want to move to Chicago.
Who are those people? They've never been there. They've never been there.
Regardless, I mean, it's semantics at the moment. So,
We told to stop because there's no reason to keep going.
yeah, it's semantics at the moment. So, we coming up on that too. Where we at the 2 hour mark, right on the money.
Good
I had
luck,
a question.
Good luck, Evan Mobley to the Cavs tomorrow night.
He ain't going. He ain't going, and that go to show he ain't going. It don't make sense to take him. I also, just before we wrap it up, and I'm not even going this will take place the questions, because I'm not even going to ask a question. I heard that Cleveland is trying to make a move to get 2 picks in the top 10, which leads me to believe they're going for that Warriors pick, which probably lets me know that they're going to give them Colin Sexton.
I didn't hear that. I mean, okay, so they're trying to get you said the two top
There was
top
an
10
article,
picks?
so you, of course, since I'm a Cleveland fan, I'm enrolled into the Cleveland app and all that, and they give you all the alerts. Well, not I don't have it on my phone, but like online shit or whatever.
Right.
And it'll
Yeah.
send me an email or whatever it is, and it said
Dedicated.
It said Cleveland's GMs or front office believe it would be a what do you call your whole organization? It would be like an organization changer if they could get 2 picks inside of the top 10.
For Colin Sexton?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah, you could get. I'll give you Colin Sexton and Kevin Love for the 7th pick.
For Kevin Love.
First of all, Warriors were talking about giving away the 7th pick for Colin Sexton straight up. They were just talking about that last week. I'm saying we can sweeten the pot and you can take Kevin Love's and Colin Sexton.
Who the hell wants Kevin Love? Who the hell wants Kevin Love?
Why wouldn't the Warriors want Kevin Love?
Okay. All right. You know why the Warriors wouldn't want Kevin Love.
Why not?
Right.
You sound like a snake. You sound like a snake oil salesman. Why wouldn't you want Kevin Love?
Right.
Why? No. Why? Honestly, though, if I could,
look at this guy. He's gonna be injured 70% of the season. He's not gonna give me no effort.
We're talking.
He doesn't really want to play.
We're talking about sweetening a pot, right? If you were willing to get Colin Sexton straight up for the 7th round pick, why would you not be interested in Colin Sexton and Kevin Love for the 7th round pick?
You have to pay Kevin Love. You have to pay Kevin Love.
Now that's why I'm saying it's a sneaky
you
trade-off.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is one of the things. There go Kevin Love. How much y'all paying him this much? Yeah, but you already signed the contract. Well, holla at you. Have a good day. Because you finna pay this man.
That may be why I ain't heard nothing else about Colin Sexton.
Kevin Love came for free. If Kevin Love came for free and we get to pay him $5 million a year, $6 million a year,
Kevin Love deserves half a rookie or half a veteran contract, veteran minimum.
What's that? $600,000 a year?
Nah, that would be half a veteran minimum would be 1.25.
I thought veteran minimum was 1.2.
Veteran minimum is 2.5 mil.
Oh, a year?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
your vet minimum is a 2.5, so half of it, give him 1.25. He don't deserve more than that just because he doesn't play enough.
If you pick up Kevin Love, he's picking up 20 times that, or damn near 15, 20 times that a year. How much he getting paid a year? $15 million?
I think he may even be getting paid more than that because I remember the original contract was 6 years. You might be right on the money. I think it was like 6 years 90 or 6 years 90 something.
That'd be I would send back a whole email like, look, I was interested and I appreciate.
Who even signs a 6-year contract? I remember I was arguing with motherfuckers. They was like, who signed? Nobody signed 6. He signed a 6-year contract.
Well, why not though? Because you think it's too long at his age?
Yeah, people don't sign people for 6 years. In the NBA,
they sign
longest contracts usually
years.
for like, huh?
I think they signed Alonzo Mourning for like 8 years, $100 million, $100 and something million.
How'd that work out?
I mean, he had a health problem.
Who had the longest contract since then?
Russell before he left OKC was 6 or 7, wasn't it?
It was 7. It was 7, but that made sense.
Oh, Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen, what did he get?
I think they gave him. I think it was like 8 years. It was like 8 years, $20 million, something like that. That's who was mad because he was mad at MJ because he didn't stand up for him because he a terrible ass contract for 8 years. I think that's why in 1998 that was his contract year. You don't want to play because you want to get paid more. You've been getting paid $2.4 million the last 8 years.
Scotty, listen.
They not only did Chicago have a good economy, they had good businessmen too.
Well, they caught Scottie Pippen's country ass living.
Listen, well,
Arkansas ass.
You ain't
give you $20 million. I don't give a damn how long it takes.
Listen, I don't care if you from the bayou. You ain't catching nobody slipping in Cleveland. They be like, I live with crocodiles outside my door. I ain't coming here. What I'm coming here for? What's here for me?
Yeah. Well, that's why Scotty was so mad. That's probably why he's still mad to this day because he's still talking
even
about
matter
something.
if they got that contract in Cleveland. So Scotty, shut the fuck up.
Well, you seen what happened when Jordan wasn't playing. He won't. I don't want to play because I'm only getting paid $2 million. I'm the best person on the team.
Right. But what you say?
I said, which is right, but he just executed his plan the wrong way.
Nah, I mean, I understand. Yeah, I understand how he would feel. And I mean, listen, but back then, people didn't have the opportunity to fight their contract like they do now.
Right. Hey, Jordan said if you average my career salary, I only made $4 million a year. So I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about.
And I'm sure too, but at the same time, it's different. It's different times. You can stream shit. You can watch it on cable. You can you can do so that's going to monetarily increase people's income.
Prices
times change.
Stadiums are better.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you talking about long contracts with bad numbers.
Now imagine
Scotty had a long contract with bad numbers. That's all
oh yeah, no, Scotty definitely did. I'm not saying Jordan didn't either. But I'm
he
saying
definitely had off-court opportunities.
I'm saying imagine Jordan though, in the era now, only getting $4 million a year. You wouldn't hear that,
right?
You just wouldn't hear that.
That's because of collective bargaining agreements and 2 lockouts.
All
later.
of that is because of all the increase in the revenue.
In the interest.
Revenues increased, right? It's all increased, so you have to reflect the players' pay as to such. They didn't have that back then. It was only a lot of highlights.
Magic Johnson wasn't getting shit.
A lot of highlights from Jordan was uploaded from VHS. Is all I'm saying.
All of them were uploaded from VHS.
You see what I'm getting at?
No, I get what you're saying. We're talking about numbers. I'm just talking about the actual contract.
And the only reason motherfuckers kept VHSs is because they knew who Jordan was. They was like, I ain't getting rid of it. You better not tape over that motherfucker. I don't give a fuck if the baby was about to be born. You better not tape over that motherfucking Jordan tape.
No, I had all of them, and I also had the NBA Inside Stuff tapes.
Uh-huh.
I had all the my brother had
opposite. I was the football.
I had all the tapes, bro. I was sitting there watching. I had Karl Malone highlight tapes, bro.
I had some highlights. I think that was
I had Run TMC highlight tapes, bro. The ones you buy from the store. Like with both them niggas on that shit, I had them. You know what I'm saying? That's just me as far as that, because I was definitely watching them shits as a kid.
But we finna wrap it up though. We had 2:08. Like I said, no questions tonight. Just give me y'all's hit the showers. And we'll wrap it up. Like I said, I believe last episode, I don't know, Malcolm, if you was here, we'll probably only have next week and probably the week after would be the last one if we have that.
Tell me, we're not going to talk about the draft tomorrow?
Yeah, but we was going to do that on the next Wednesday. Next Wednesday show.
To recap it.
I thought y'all was going to have draft predictions and shit.
Yeah, no, that's what we was going to get into all that too.
Y'all got into the Cleveland versus damn Chicago shit.
I was like, hey, we might as well just stop. I said it a couple times.
Y'all started that at about 19.
But it's okay though, because we've been through draft predictions on the past 2 shows that we had on Wednesday. And they haven't changed. I think they did change.
To an arm wrestle match, nigga.
You said what?
Shit off y'all niggas, man.
Aaron pissed.
He mad about what? What he mad about?
Look at him, Cliff. Look at Aaron. Look at him.
Nigga, I'll virtue arm wrestle your motherfucking ass. I'll mail my hand down to Atlanta just so I can slap that motherfucker on the desk.
You know what it is.
The fuck? My hand don't need no arm, and I'll beat you in that arm wrestling.
My hand don't need no arm.
I've been hitting these prison push-ups, boy.
It'll be like the Addams Family. Just crawl up and be like, bang! And then crawl back out to the post office and hop in the mailbox to get shit back to my hand.
I hope you're in that great shape. I wish you are, and I hope you're in that great shape.
I would flex on you one time, but this is a no flex zone. Said word to Ray Schremer.
Flex over here and I get that.
Do any of y'all got anything to take us out?
Man, draft night tomorrow. Like I said, Evan Mobley, welcome to Cleveland. Hopefully you bring the change that's needed. Team USA, get your shit together. Men's basketball, that is.
Evan Mobley's dropping down to 5.
Dropping down to 5?
If the Rockets don't get him. I think the Rockets got the pick before us. I think the Rockets get him. If the Rockets don't get him, he drops down to 5. If the Rockets get Jalen Green, I guess I could see why CBS and Barstool, or was it Barstool?
Bleacher Report.
Are saying Evan, because if the first, of course, Kate Cunningham, we assume that goes to Detroit unless Detroit trades away that pick. Regardless, Cade's going first. We know that. Second goes to the Rockets, who I've always said needs a big man before they need anything else, which makes sense for them to go with Evan Mobley. But if for some reason they choose to go with Jalen Green at the 2, because I have seen that as well, I honestly think the Cavaliers should go with Suggs at the 3 and bypass that Mobley pick. But I can understand why the analysts are saying Mobley first, because that's the more talented selection. But that fit doesn't match our team unless you're going to make him a 4 and he's like a Kevin Durant style player. And he's
Jared
not.
Allen.
Yeah, he's not been away Colin Sexton. So why not give him an oversized point guard that could potentially play both positions? He's already 6'4". There's a possibility he could grow even more, right? So why not take the 6'4" guard when you know that your point guard's currently only 6'1"?
Right.
Over the center that you already have, a pretty good center in the league. You got a couple of them.
It's Cleveland.
They still got Baldwin on the bench from Duke. And I didn't mind him. He's still young. He's green, but, I mean, he could develop. There's no point in going for more centers, and that's what you've been shopping around and getting rid of. You had JaVale McGee, so now you want another center?
This is young talent.
Doesn't make sense to me. I don't think I see him going there. That's the only thing I can say. But I will just kick it off myself just so we can wrap it up. My hit the showers this evening is going to...
I didn't even pick one, I think.
Nah, nobody has. I'm gonna just give it to Team USA all around.
Yeah.
All around. I'm not going to single anybody out because I don't think anybody deserves to be singled out. I think it's just the all around team in general. And not only the Team USA, but my hit the showers also goes out to all the players that could have been on it that refused to.
Mm-hmm.
Steph, LeBron, all y'all. I don't care how important y'all's next season was to y'all. There's no reason to leave y'all brothers in arms out to dry like that. So y'all hit the showers too. Matter of fact, y'all hit the showers first.
No, they gotta hit the shower second. They get the one with all the lint and shit.
Yeah, they gotta get the cold water. Let them. I guess that would be
right.
nice. Hit the shower second.
Ice shower, yeah.
I'm gonna give mine. I'm gonna single out Pop because I kind of feel like he's doing that Coach Paul Bryant shit where he just kind of come to practice with newspaper, kind of sits in the chair and goes, "Oh, okay, so y'all run the game."
But what do you do if nobody listens?
You do something.
He's Coach too old.
Well, all right. Well, look, you act like Coach K is that much older or that much younger than Popovich. Right. They're around the same age.
Are they?
The same age. Yeah, they're around the same age. Coach K started coaching
by what, like 6-7 years?
Coach K's retiring
in the 80s.
Yeah, Coach K been around for.
He had a couple of years where they thought they was gonna fire him before he actually got good. All I'm saying is that, if I got to point a finger at somebody right now, man, if I got all the pieces, it's like chess. We got the same pieces, but you ain't moving them right. So
y'all all got rooks. That's the difference. USA don't got all the proper pieces to assemble a complete chessboard, i.e. basketball team.
Hey, well, let me have my hit the showers, goddamn it.
I'm sorry.
My Pop, goddamn it. Pop hit the showers, nigga. I don't give a fuck what Cliff said.
Hit him, Pop. Shit.
Your ass in the shower.
Just hit
Right.
him very gently, and I hope you have like one of them metal
Nah.
bars in there.
Turn the heat all the way up and burn this nigga's skin, or turn all the way down and give him pneumonia the next day.
Pop, hit the showers and get a back rub from your wife. You know how you can't wash your
Oh,
back.
time out.
And you
Time
call
out.
her-
I didn't
Wife-
told you a
wife
couple
passed away a
episodes
couple
ago.
years
His
ago.
wife passed away of cancer.
Oh,
or
I'm
something.
sorry. I'm sorry to hear that.
Remember, that's why I told you. I think.
Get
Pop
your
was-
side, bitch.
Remember?
Oh, yeah, I think I do remember you saying that.
That's why I think.
Damn, he ain't got nobody to rub his back anymore.
You got
That's why
side,
he
bitch.
said.
Pop got
Hey.
side, bitch. Don't get it
Pop,
twisted.
call
got-
Robert
said-
Kraft. He'll take care of
He
you.
said, fuck them sorry ass players. I'm just here to read my newspaper.
I'm in
Uh-huh.
Japan trying to get my dick sucked. That's all I'm trying to do.
Right. Love me long time. Love me long time.
All right, but you know I'm saying Pop because somebody got to bring them together. If there's no real leader on the team, you're a coach. You're
I
actually
agree. I do
the
agree
leader.
there.
Do something. And
God
what was
bless
it?
Pop.
God bless him. He's a great coach. It's just you're not really showing your capabilities right now. What else we gotta do?
Ain't
No,
no
I-
question this evening.
I agree with y'all for mine. All of the above. Hit the showers.
Okay, that's it.
If
That's
you want a
it.
team USA and you got a ball in your hand and you're a male, you need to tighten up.
I
Shout
agree.
out all the females out there, to keep doing your
Yeah,
thing.
keep doing y'all's thing.
Liz Cambridge, I'm watching you, girl.
Nah, I'm watching. What's her name? Brianna Beckett.
Hey,
I think that's her name.
we all got one.
I mean,
more.
of course, Asia Williams is gonna do her thing, but I think it's Brianna Beckett. She's the one that's been impressing me. I'm like,
You mean Breonna Stewart? You said Breonna Beckett?
Is it
Breonna
Stewart?
was a white girl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Breonna Stewart. Boy,
Then that's who I'm talking about.
I'm not talking about Liz Cambridge for none of those reasons. But I
Yeah,
feel you.
she's
Yeah,
bad.
that's who I'm talking about. Then Brianna Stewart. That might be
Uh
it.
huh. Yeah. She went to Oregon, I think, in college, and I don't remember who she played for, but yeah,
She the one. But
Yeah.
yeah, do y'all got anything to take us out with?
Man, love everybody.
Love everybody. Shit.
Don't waste your opportunities, man. Sometimes you
Right.
only get one.
And
America.
Get one
listen.
chance to blow.
And
I
listen.
don't make me do 8 Mile, bitch. I forgot the lyrics real quick. But I almost
Right. You only get one shot.
Ding, 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 ding.
Bling bling.
That's
Listen.
funny. We talked about Cheddar Bob earlier.
Right. You stupid.
Don't shoot yourself, everybody.